What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight, alright, we're coming back to Aldious. Yes, indeed, Aldious Fans FEELIN YOU. Come on now. Here we go. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to doing all of the clicks and the likes and the bibbidi-bibbidi-bop, do me a favor, before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to actually earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you still feel like doing all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from Zachary Loomis, and this is actually Zachary's prioritized request for the month of November for being a silver tier member on the Patreon page. So, there you go, Zach. Hope you enjoy the show, man. Zach wanted to see me react to this. It is Aldious with a tune called Disclose. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, wait a second, I've heard this song before, I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was originally posted by Heavy Metal Is the Law, and the video has 144 views. It's not gonna get you there, sorry. No, like, I'm sure the song's fine, I'm sure the video's fine, I'm sure everything's just fine. I'm just saying, 144 views, it's not gonna get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will not be down in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Zach said this is a private link, so unfortunately it will not be able to be posted up. So don't go looking for it, guys. It won't be there. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Aldious, Disclose, live. Awesome. Always love it. I always feel like it's better when it's live. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
So I'm guessing this is the beginning of the show. And then the song's gonna kick in. Okay. I've had people ask me in the past how I feel about intros like this, where every member of the band comes out individually and center stage, you know, raises their hands, whatever, acknowledges the crowd, puts the spotlight on them. People have asked me how I feel about those. I have mixed feelings. It can, okay, if it's done right, if it's done well, I got no problem with it. When it's not done right, it's not done well, then I have a huge problem with it. It really comes down to two things. It comes down to execution and timing. Number one, having a backing track play while it's being done. I got no problem with that. I think utilizing a backing track during this intro or during any intro like this, I think it's a very smart idea as long as that track makes sense. Like, if you're going to be using, if you're going to be watching a band who is known for playing high energy, intense, fast-paced music, then you're going to want an intro that's going to, you know, fit the mood and tone of what's going to come. Or you could go the other direction and you could use, like, you know, some grandioso classical piece. As long as it fits, and as long as there's a direction, as long as it makes sense in the context of what's to come, I got no problem with it. I love it. I've seen bands do this. I cannot believe that this actually does happen. But I have seen bands do introductions like this, no backing track at all. It is literally dead silent. And every single individual person comes out and does the same thing with no backing track whatsoever. I don't get it. I do not understand it. It does not make sense. As far as the execution goes, the timing goes with the individual members coming out, as long as every individual member gets around the same amount of time and there isn't a whole lot of space in between. Like, if this intro were to take, 3 minutes to introduce 5 people, that could be a little annoying. But we're in a mid and 50. Plus, we didn't have anything happening for like the first 30 seconds. Keep that in mind as well. So I think the timing was well done. I think the execution was well done. I think the spacing was well done. I like the order in which they came out. Drummer came out first. To me, that makes the most sense because they got the most work to get into position and get ready. They have to go up the drum riser, around the back of the drum, sit down, adjust their throne, pick up their sticks, make some adjustments to the cymbals and to the toms if they need to, some last minute adjustments. Guitar players and bass players, we got it easy. We go over, we pick up our guitars, put our head through the strap, and we're pretty much ready to go. So we got the least amount of time. Lead vocalist coming out last makes perfect sense. So I like their intro. I think it makes sense. I think it was well done. I think it was well timed and well executed. So no issues so far. Let's get into the song now, shall we? see why. Okay, guitar solo. Let's back up a little bit. Okay, the chordal progression, it sounds like it's in the chorus. B to G to A. Okay. Now, typically, B, G, A, that will lead you to usually one of three. Don't hold me to this, but it usually leads you to one of three chords: B, G, A, D, or B, G, A, E, or B, G, A, F sharp. That's usually one of those three is usually where you're going to go off of that. The B to the G to the A. You know, 1 down to the 6 to the 7. Now from there you go to the 3rd. From there you go down to the 5th, or from there you go down to the 4th. They're doing B, G, A, F. The flat 5. Okay. I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing. You have to look at it in the context of the whole song. Now, the B to the G to the A. Now, I'm saying root 6, 7 for that section. Now, the thing is, though, it sounds to me like the song is actually an E. That's what it really sounds like to me. So if you look at it like from that perspective, it's 5, 3, 4. All in minor. So 5, minor 3rd, 4. And from there, if you look at it like this, down to the F would be the flat 2. And from the flat 2, it would make perfect sense to resolve to the E, which is what it sounds like they're doing. So that makes, if you think about it in the context of we're in E, then it makes a lot more sense as opposed to we're in B. We're not in B. I don't believe we're in B. I think the chorus starts on the B, but that doesn't mean we're necessarily in B. So that's interesting. I like that approach. It's different. It's different. I like it. It doesn't sound bad. It sounds good. The F just kind of threw me off a little bit. I was like, that's not where you normally go, but that's okay. That's all right. Doesn't have to go to one of those three. As long as it sounds good. Using that F especially as a transitional note to go to the root makes perfect sense. So, flat 2. Yep. Good transition. All right, guitar solo time. Let's see what we got here. Smart. I like it. A. F. Yep. Okay. Yeah, everything makes sense. I mean, I don't hear anything I didn't hear anything that sounded bad. I didn't see anything I didn't like. It looks to me like this is the show opener, and as show openers go, sounds like a good song to start the show with. It does everything you want it to do. The only thing I question, the only thing I'm not sure about is this a familiar song? And I'll talk about more about that in the review. So let me get my thoughts together. I'll see you in the review, and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Aldious with Disclose. This was a request from Zachary Loomis, and this was actually Zach's prioritized request for the month of November for being a silver tier member on the Patreon page. So there you go, Zach. Hope you enjoyed the show, man. Okay, not a whole lot to talk about for this. This is very straight ahead, and that actually works to their advantage considering the circumstances. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. Let me start off with the score first. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that an 8.1. Yup, 8.1. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
Okay, first things first, an 8.1. What does that mean? Well, an 8.1 will translate to a great scale rating. So overall, I think this was a great performance. It would also get 4 to 5 stars and an A- letter grade. So there you go, an 8.1, great scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Now, how did I come up with that score? Ha ha! So glad you asked. Okay, looking at the song in the context of a live performance, I have a question, but I'm going to save that question for a little bit later. Starting out with the dark stage logo in the background, looked good, a little ominous, not a bad way to go. Start the track. Okay, track makes sense. Considering the type of band that Aldious is, it makes perfect sense. Got no issue with it. Not too grandioso, a little more emphasis on the speed, a little more emphasis about the drive. Like I said, considering the kind of band that Aldious is, and considering the type of music that Aldious writes and plays, it fits like a glove, so no issue there. Individual members coming out, making their presence known, interacting with the crowd a little bit, not staying for too long, any one person. Even the lead vocalist didn't stay up there that long, which I appreciate. I've seen bands come out and do this, where everybody goes up, they're up on the Eagle block for seriously 2 seconds each, and then the lead vocalist comes out and the lead vocalist stands there for like 10 seconds. I get it, they're the lead vocalist, I understand they're the front person of the band, but at the same time, everybody else in the band have only got 2 seconds, so you're gonna take 10. Little egotistical if you ask me, but that's just how I feel. But I think they did their intro really well. It didn't take too long. Everybody came out, everybody made their presence felt, they got to their instruments, and they kicked off the song. As far as the song goes, great energy, nice drive, great tempo. The kind of song that you want as your show opener. The type of song that just, punches your listeners right in the mouth and it just gets their attention. Whether they're ready to pay attention or not, that's really on them, but you're not going to give them a choice. You're going to make them pay attention. I like it. I like that. I like that approach for sure. As far as song selection goes, here's my question. One of the things I always talk about when I talk about bands creating their set lists, when they're going to go on tour or whether it's just a one-off show or whatever the case may be, I can always appreciate when bands actually put thought into making a set list. You can tell when bands just literally take a sheet of paper and go, let's just do this song, 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 and this song. And they don't give any thought to the set list. They just want to put, we'll just do these songs in this order. It doesn't really matter the order that we do them, as long as we're doing the songs.
What's the matter with you?
No, it makes a difference when you sit there and you try to figure out what song, first of all, what song do you want to use as your show opener? You don't want to start off with your biggest hit, your most recent big hit. You don't want to do that. You want to save that for later in the show. Typically, around somewhere around the 2/3 to 3/4 of the way through mark. So let's say you're doing 15 songs, right? Somewhere around song 10, 11, 12, or 13. That's where you really want to put your big hit, the song that everybody is there for. If you're Journey, that's where you're going to put Don't Stop Believin'. You know what I mean? That would make the most sense. So you don't want to start with your big hit, but you want to start with a song that everybody knows and everybody recognizes and everybody enjoys. Not necessarily, it doesn't even have to be a big hit. It doesn't have to be in your, you know, it doesn't have to break the Billboard 200 or 100. It doesn't have to do that. As long as it's a song that you know your fan base likes, your fan base recognizes, and it's a good way to, it has the type of pacing, energy, and drive and tempo that's going to get your show started on the right foot. That's what you're really looking for. Now, this song, it did everything I look for in an opening song. The only thing I don't know is how recognizable the song is. I don't know that part. But everything else it covered. Fast-paced, high energy, punches the listeners right in the mouth and gets their attention and makes them pay attention whether they want to or not. I like everything that it did. It's a good key, good energy, good drive. I like everything it did. It definitely did the job. The only thing I don't know, is it a well-known song? I don't know that part. I'm going to make the assumption that it is. I think Aldious is, I think I feel pretty comfortable saying that they're an intelligent band, and when it comes to making a set list, they are the type of band that will probably sit down and put a lot of thought into it and think about it and be willing to do things like, well, what if we switch these two songs? Man, I can't tell you, every band I've been in where we've done that, we will sit there and we will seriously spend over an hour, working on creating a set list. And in the end, it always works out because it makes sense. And the songs will always flow well from one song to the next. So I love it when bands do that. I love it when bands are willing to pay attention to details like that.
Well, good. Glad we're clear on that.
The thing about the song that really kind of piqued my interest more than anything was this. We're in the key of E. It was pretty obvious we were in E. The main riff was in E. The opening riff, we started off on that E. We ended in E, and the E riff constantly came back up. But the funny thing is, pre-chorus and chorus were both starting off on B and going in some pretty interesting directions, especially the chorus. I talked about this during the reaction. The B to the G to the A to the F. Interesting. So root, 6, 7, flat 5. And then I remembered, wait, we're in E. Let's keep that in context. So we're actually going 5, 3, 4, flat 2. And using the flat 2 to go back to the B or to transition back to the E. That makes a lot more sense, keeping it in the context of we're in E, not B. So that made a lot more sense, and it sounded good, and it transitioned well. I got no issue with it. And that could be said for the entire song. The chordal progression made sense. It sounded good. Everything flowed well. There was never one time where I was sitting there going, why did they go to that key? No, everything made perfect sense. Instrumentally, everybody sounded really nice. I got no issue with anything anybody played. Guitars sounded really good at the get-go. You could hear the bass clear as day, especially with the attacks. The drumming sounded really nice. Got no problem there. Vocals sounded really good. I got no issue with anything as far as the musicianship or the execution of the song goes. The tone of the video. Now that it was a little high-end heavy, if you ask me. I don't know who actually recorded this and mixed it, but it did sound a little high-end heavy. It could have brought down the highs. And this is not for the band. This is not the band's fault, but I just couldn't help but notice that the actual video that we watched, it was a little treble heavy. So I don't know. It did make it a little pinchy, a little twangy, but it's okay. It still works out. Overall, I would give the song somewhere in like the 7.8, 7.9 range. So why am I giving this an 8.1? Y'all know what I'm gonna say, so say it with me.
Sing it out one time.
A live show can help your score or it can hurt your score. In this case, it absolutely helped. Let's go down the checklist, shall we? Stage presence, check. They came out. Now, even during the intro, they came out, making their presence felt. They look like rock stars. They acted like rock stars, and there's that's the definition of stage presence right there. Stage energy, check. Quite a bit of it. Not so much moving feet. I mean, we did have quite a bit of that. Don't get me wrong. The lead vocalist was moving around the stage. Both guitar players were moving around the stage. Bass player was moving around a little bit, not too much though. Mostly being done by the lead vocalist, but there were a lot of times also where they would plant their feet and, they would really, as ensemble, they would focus on headbanging, everybody. And that looked good. That also ties in with showmanship as well. So that's going to be covered. So yeah, check for the stage energy. Stage interaction, check. We had some stage interaction. We had several moments of it where various members would interact with each other. So that's check. Crowd interaction, right from the get-go, before they even started playing, when they came out and did their introductions, waving to the crowd, acknowledging the crowd. Yeah, it's right there, and then they continue to do it through the song, so no issues there. Showmanship, I already talked about it. They did put on a good stage show. Production, lighting, that was pretty much it. But overall, I think the live show was really well done. Could it be better? Yeah, sure, of course. It could be bigger, it could be better. It could be done more often by more members. They could go back and resharpen the saw constantly, but they did check off all the boxes, and that's what I really look for more than anything else. So yeah, 8.1. I feel good with that score, and that's where we're gonna stay. So let's wrap everything up here in a nice shiny bow, shall we? We got an 8.1, which is a great scale rating, 4 to 5 stars, and an A- letter grade. Take your pick, I don't care, whichever one of those floats your boat. Final word, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me, but if you guys feel like doing these things, well then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for the night, folks. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later, peace.